Welcome to the channel. My name is Coach and I'm your go-to source for everything relating to TNA. And this week's episode, overall, it was pretty good, but I'm not gonna lie, I kinda hated it because we didn't have one single women's match on the show. And that would have been okay if we had some segments. We didn't have any segments, not for either of the championships in the women's division. We didn't even get a backstage segment for some of the women, just nothing. We did get some women on the show. You wanna know what they did? They were valet for the men. Now I get it, TNA's knockouts division right now is the weakest it's ever been, it feels like. But come on, not a single match, not a single promo between Masha and Tessa, not some backstage skit with the By Elegance brand. You couldn't even give one of the lower level knockouts a squash match just so they look strong. Anything. Hell, last week they mentioned Maggie Lee, who was recently signed. You couldn't just give her an introductory match? Anything, literally anything, but no, nothing. But if you can look past that, the overall episode was pretty great. The general story of the show was what's gonna happen with Joe Henry in the World Championship and the system all having to fight in a match to prove themselves worthy of being in the system. So let's look at the show. It opens with NXT superstar Ethan Page coming out and talking about how he's gonna win the TNA World Championship and how he already has a victory over Joe Henry. Then Frankie Kazarian comes out to have a bit of a squabble. Santino then comes out, he makes the announcement that in the main event Joe Henry will talk about what's gonna happen with him and his world championship and that the two men in the ring should stay aware for that, and then he sends them packing. Backstage, Steve Maclin is being interviewed about his match tonight against Eddie Edwards of the System, and then Eric Young comes up. Eric Young tells him that the System will most likely interfere, so he needs backup. Steve just retorts and he says, "I don't want your backup, I don't need it, I'll handle it on my own." First match of tonight is Mustafa Ali versus Ace Austin. This match starts off pretty good, pretty interesting. We really need to see a gimmick change from Ace Austin. He's cool, he's a great wrestler, he's still very young, but I don't get him. I don't get what Ace Austin is about. I don't really feel any connection to him. I really wish we could just get a character for him because I have so much faith in him to succeed. Regardless, he gets the upper hand in the match, which then ends in Mustafa Ali hitting him in the back with a chair for a disqualification. The Great Hands then tie him up, or not tie him up, they hold him together and Mustafa Ali is about to hit him with a chair, but then Santana comes to the save and Mustafa Ali and his faction run off like the scaredy cats they are. A few moments later backstage we catch up with them. Tasha Steelz hires a personal car service for them, and as soon as everyone gets in the car, Santana is revealed to be the driver. Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steelz and the other member of the Great Hands get out and run away, leaving John Skyler knocked out in the front seat next to Santana as he drives off with some mysterious intentions we find about later. I really love this. This is some cool stuff, but seriously, could we have not cancelled that match? Because the match was kind of worthless and just put a women's match there. And then we could have done this whole cinematic segment with Mustafa Ali and Santana anyways, because the match wasn't really required for that. Then the first member of the System who has to prove himself is Moose. He's out in the ring, he's getting ready to face Cody Deaner. Cody Deaner then comes out, and just like he always tries to do, he tries to hype up the fans, but then JDC tells him that, dude, your contract is about to be up, you're about to lose everything, just lay down and we'll make you like our personal janitor. And Cody Deaner just goes to the fans and everyone says no he shouldn't, so Cody Deaner doesn't. And Cody Deaner says that if he can last 2 minutes with Moose, then he gets an X Division Championship shot. Moose and the System laugh their asses off and agree to this match, which starts, and Cody Deaner actually lasts 2 minutes. Now after the 2-minute mark, Moose just destroys him and pins him, which is like kind of, why did we even do that 2 minutes? But overall, I really liked the segment and it was pretty entertaining. I wish we used it on someone else. I respect Cody Deaner, he tries his best, but the man is just never going to be a star. He's never going to be at that top tier. And this overall segment was very entertaining, very fun. I really liked it. I just wish we did it with someone else. Maybe if we kind of put Ace Austin there, like I mentioned earlier, and just tweak some of the things, it could have been interesting. But no. But overall, I'm proud of Cody Deaner as someone who doesn't get a lot of opportunity. He really made the most of it and entertained me. But after the match, the System keep trying to attack him, which causes the Rascals to come out and save him. The Rascals are just everybody's saviors these days, it looks like. But regardless, they now instantly have a match with Brian Myers and JDC, which was anyways going to be a match we get later tonight, which they lose. So JDC and Brian Myers pick up a nice victory over the Rascals. I thought this could have gone both ways because the Rascals could have used another big victory, while JDC and Brian Myers losing could have caused more tension in the System. But okay, the System is seemingly staying together, so JDC, Brian Myers getting the victory, I'm all for it. Then we get the first match of the International Championship Tournament. AJ Francis versus Sami Callihan versus Monte Warner. This match was very entertaining. If you're gonna look at any match from this episode, this would be the match. Mans Warner and Sami Callihan just kept going at each other. AJ Francis every now and again tried to take advantage of the moment, but he just gets thwarted and thrown out of the ring, which meant Sami Callihan and Mans Warner just kept going at each other again. Eventually, at least, AJ Francis managed to finally take advantage and get the victory. I'm pretty confident he's gonna be the one to win this international championship. It just feels right and like AJ Francis deserves it. But overall, this match was really entertaining and pretty hardcore. So backstage, we catch up with Sami Callihan and Santino comes out and Santino berates him. And Sami's just like, I want this to be over. So at Rebellion, or I believe next week, right? Next week, yeah, I think next week, he says, I want a barbed wire massacre match with Mans Warner, and this will be the end of the feud. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm not usually for these types of matches, and I want this feud to be over. But okay, these are two people that can probably make it work. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but it's going to be really hardcore and really interesting anyways. So regardless of whether I like it or not, I'm still excited for it. Another match for us, Leon Slater goes up against Ryan Nemeth after their confrontation last week. Near the end of the match, Ryan Nemeth throws a few chairs into the ring, and that means the referee takes one chair, throws him out of the ring, but while she's doing that, Ryan Nemeth tries to hit Leon Slater with another chair. Luckily, the Hardy Boys, Leon Slater's mentor, come out to help him equal the odds, and Leon Slater picks up a victory. This was a nice match, a nice victory for Leon Slater. Man, I'm so high on Leon Slater, and clearly TNA is too, because they're consistently featuring him, giving him big matches, big moments. They don't make him look weak. Like, seriously, before the end of the year, hell, I won't even be surprised if he's the one that takes the championship off of Joe Henry. Like, seriously, Leon Slater has such a bright future in the company. He's probably the next face of TNA, unless NXT swoops him up in a few years. Main event of the show, at least the match, Eddie Edwards goes up against Steve Maclin. Now, as was suspected, the system came to interfere in the match, but that leads Eric Young and Northern Armory to come out and kind of equal the odds. But without anyone noticing, Alicia Edwards then slips a ring onto Eddie Edwards' hands. He knocks out Steve Maclin and picks up the victory. The system is all fine and good. Everyone proved their point. But unfortunately for Steve Maclin, he lost again. So Eric Young throws a mask into the ring. And this is the commentary stated, and I believe this was stated earlier too. This is Eric Young giving Steve Maclin one last chance. And if Steve Maclin doesn't join, they're probably going to brutally attack him, which is probably the direction we're going. I can't see Steve Maclin joining this faction. It wouldn't make sense for his character arc that we've been trying to tell. But the final image of just Steve Maclin looking at the mask, I'm excited to see where this goes. A lot of people don't like Eric Young for some reason. I don't get it. I really like what he's been doing with the Northern Armory. And his whole feud and story with Steve Maclin, it's been kind of slow, but really interesting, and I like that. And the final part of the show, Joe Henry comes out and he teases that he's going to drop the World Championship. But then he says, just nah, pranked y'all, I'm still going to be champion, I'm going to fight through it. There was surprisingly a lot of people online who believed Joe Henry was actually injured. And I was just like, it's clearly storyline wise. But it was just from people who don't watch TNA and just want to shit on it. So I didn't take their opinion seriously. But then Frankie Kazarian comes out and he says he's excited to take the World Championship off of Joe Henry. And then we get the announcement that next week we'll get Masha and Joe Henry going up against Tessa and Frankie Kazarian. Like, okay, cool, it's going to be a solid match, but I don't really care about it. We're most likely going to see Tessa and Frankie Kazarian get the victory over them to make them look strong. And then a few weeks after, Masha's probably going to retain, Joe Henry's going to retain. You know, we're getting to a kind of predictable phase that I don't like. But overall, it was an okay way to end the show, but I would have probably liked it if the match between Eddie Edwards and Steve Maclin main evented the show. So overall, tonight's episode, it was weaker than some of the past episodes, still pretty good, but I'm gonna have to put it at a 6 out of 10. No women's action really hurt the show, but overall, the story they told in tonight's show regarding the system and everything, that was fairly entertaining. I really enjoyed that, but let me know what you think. Am I overreacting a bit? Am I going a bit crazy? I probably am. But I think tonight's show was just above average. What do you think? Let me know. I try to reply to as many comments as I can, even though I don't get that many, but I still try my best. So leave a like, subscribe, join the channel. I cover TNA every week. I'm literally your go-to source for TNA. So sending love. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye, everyone.